So look into the news. It discusses about India's foreign policy. So why it is in the news? Because India has refrained from active political involvement in major geopolitical conflicts, according to this article. So the article titled India's geopolitical vision should be larger brings in us different perspectives on how India should move on toward time for a shift and also reform to bring in even more enhanced strategic advancements and relations with other global powers. So, in light of this article, let us see the history about different phases of India's foreign policy in different time period. And this comes under the syllabus of UPSC for mains in the GS paper 2 under international relations. So let's first look into the evolution of Indian foreign policy from the year of 1947, that is from the independence to 1962, and it is known as Nehruvian non-alignment movement. So here it was led by our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, and the focus was on non-alignment after the Cold War and bringing in sovereignty and having anti-colonialism movements. So the key events included led on non-alignment movement in 1955, then bringing in Panchsheel agreement to have peace relations with the China in 1954, and we also advocated for decolonization and encouraged independent nations. So the major shift was seen after in 1962, that is after India and China war, where we had the need to bring in even more enhanced strategic rethink. So it led to the time period of realism and strategic partnerships in our Indian foreign policy. So it happened from the year of 1962 to 1991. So here it involved leaders Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi, where they had their major focus for our country India and its foreign policy through enhancing the security, having regional dominance, military strength and economic growth. So here it included key events such as the 1971, which is the Treaty of Friendship, which was signed between India and USSR, and next would be Bangladesh Liberation Movement, where India was played a key role in it in 1971, and India conducted their first nuclear test, the Pokhran, in 1974. So these events all enhance the security, regional dominance as well as the military strength. After 1991, we had a major shift in our Indian foreign policy, that is during the USSR collapse in 1991. So us for a country, we brought in more importance of economic shift and economic diversification for our country to be even more stable during such global collapse. So in the evolution of Indian foreign policy, it led to economic liberalization and global integration from 1991 to 2000, which is the period of LPG. So here it was led by P.V. Narasimha Rao, and the focus was more on economic diplomacy, globalization and multi-alignment. From non-alignment, we have moved as a country way forward to enhance in multi-alignment, and it involved key events such as the economic reforms which happened in 1991, such as the LPG, where we opened markets, and next key event would be including the Look East policy, where it enhance the ASEAN ties, that is the association of the Southeast Asian nations. And again we did nuclear test in 1991 to enhance our strategic deterrence. So after this, there was again a major shift which was in early 2000s, where after our country facing the importance of being the multi-alignment, we brought in global partnerships beyond the region. So after giving importance for regional diplomacy, we brought in the importance for global diplomacy and global partnerships. So it led to the emerging power and strategic balancing period from the year of 2000 to 2014. It was one of the shift in the evolution of our Indian foreign policy. So it was led by many leaders such as Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Manmohan Singh, where their focus was more on global partnerships, defense, energy security and military importance. So it involves key events such as the Indo-US nuclear deal between India and US in 2008, their partnership, then having defense and energy ties with countries such as Israel and Gulf countries. Then India joined the BRICS in 2009, and it led to Indian Ocean maritime expansion. So where we gave importance to Indian Ocean region especially. So after this, it again led to a major shift after the year of 2014, where we moved towards even more enhancement of multi-alignment and self-reliance as a country. So it led to a major evolution of our Indian foreign policy from the year of 2014 till present, where we gave importance for multi-alignment in a multipolar world. So it was led by our current Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, where the focus was more on multi-alignment, having Indo-Pacific strategy and economic leaderships. So here it involved key events such as neighborhood first policy to stronger our regional ties with the neighborhoods. It enhanced again the Look East policy, which included ASEAN, Japan, and Australia. And also through Quad, we brought in the importance of Indo-Pacific security ties, especially during the period of COVID-19. One of the most deadly pandemic, we brought in the vaccine diplomacy, where we aided to almost 100 plus nations. And recently we are bringing in the importance of digital diplomacy through our schemes and initiatives, where there is importance for AI and cyber security leadership. So right from 1947 till present, we have seen the focus and the changes throughout the years of our Indian foreign policy till now. So let's look into the advantages of this multi-alignment. First, to have a strategic autonomy. So instead of depending on a one singular block, we believed in multi-alignment. Then having economic diversification with different countries through different partnerships, then bringing in defense security, having energy security. Right now we are moving towards having a multi sustainable developed countries, and bringing in the global importance of global influence through different partnerships, having conflict neutrality, so there is balance of check even between the countries, and bringing in the importance of tech and strategic ties, so there is reducing of the digital gap and increasing of the digital diversification, and having geopolitical strength finally through having different partnerships through SEO, through Quad, through BeamStech, through ASEAN, etc. But we should also see the disadvantages of this multi-alignment. It leads to lack of strong alliances. When there is multi-alignment, we won't have much reliance on one particular strong alliance. The next is balancing challenges, as we are in multiple partnerships with the rivalry powers such as the US, China. So through balancing through the issues such as the BRI project, we need to balance a lot of challenges. Then risk of strategic ambiguity. So having multi-alignment relations, it leads to us having different strategies for different countries. So it leads to ambiguity and not having one particular plan. Next is dependence on multiple suppliers, such as us being dependent on oil and natural gas suppliers. Then having pressure from global powers, especially in way important forums such as the WTO, UN, ICG, and so on. And having economic vulnerability, where because of this multi-alignment, we need to align our challenges in regarding to the funds allocation, and it can lead to slow decision making as it involves multiple stakeholders. So these can be the disadvantages of multi-alignment as well. So how to overcome this ambiguity in multipolar world? Bringing in clear strategic priorities, so in accordance to the national interest of a country, India, as well as for the people on its first base. So more than neighborhood first policy, it should be for people of India's first policy. Next is having issue based alignment. So according to the issues, there can be alignment of different national interest problems. Next is institutional strengthening, such as importance of BeamStech, as I told, ASEAN. Then through SARC, we can bring in the importance of regional importance, and enhancing regional leadership. Then having diversified economic and defense ties, bringing in the importance of indigenous development in the economic and defense ties. So it makes us even more self-reliant in the multipolar world, and having strategic communication through the advancement of technology, AI, and other infrastructures. So there is a smooth supply of logistics, supply chain, and also interoperability. So let's look a way forward. Having strategic balancing, managing US-China rivalry, strengthening Quad, BRICS, bringing leadership importance such as I told before, SAARC, BIMSTEC, ASEAN and African relations, economic and tech growth, focusing on trade, AI, semiconductors, space explorations, and having defense and security enhancements to boosting, as I told before, indigenous defense protection, strengthening Indo-Pacific maritime security. So I hope the article is clear. It's a very big article to understand, as that it brings in different perspectives. So I ask the students to attempt this question, as you guys can also have a perspective on the multipolarity. So this is the question: in an era of multipolarity, India's foreign policy is driven by strategic balancing, regional leadership, economic growth, and defense security. So you should know that all of these are different sectors. So every these four sectors need points which are adhering to these perspectives along with examples. So critically analyze this question. It comes for 15 marks for 250 words. So put your answer in the comment section.